Hello, Vortex. So, almost hit a car. Isn't that cool? You wish that you took risks, but you're a boring person. Look, there are some people that do comedy on a stage, and then there are people such as yours truly that do comedy everywhere, okay? And we are clearly one of those. We've always been one of those. It took me a while to realize this about myself. It took me a while to accept the fact that, like, I wasn't gonna do anything else. Like, right when I turned 30, I accepted the fact that I would never be a housewife or a mom. I think that I would be a good wife, and I think that I would be a good mom, but housewife, probably not. And not because I couldn't stay at the house. I would be very, very good at staying at the house and raising my kids. But I'm a very messy person, and I'm a really horrible cook. So I think that I would really suck at being a housewife, even though I totally understand the role of the wife and the mom. I understand that better than a lot of people. But I'm an artist, though, and artists are typically pretty messy and disorganized, and we live our life in a really counterculture way. And that's why I say, like, when I turned 30, I just accepted the fact that, like, you know, I'm an artist, you know, and just being a comedian, it's like, you can't really do anything else. It's like, I talk to these other comedians, and it's like, most comedians live with other comedians, and they're not in committed relationships, and they don't have kids. Like, my friend John Hickok, he has a son, but yeah, it's like, whenever you're doing any kind of art, I think it's really hard to live a conventional lifestyle. Especially if you think about it, like road comics, you know, going from state to state, or possibly maybe different countries if you're lucky, you know, like having the responsibility of like being a parent or a spouse or whatever, it's got to be really hard to manage that. So, I don't know. That's why I don't think women should be encouraged to do comedy. Women should be encouraged to, like, have kids. But I just don't think that I could do something like that. I'm way too protective. Like, I'm way too paranoid, and I'm way too protective and possessive, and I would end up stabbing a lot of people if they tried to touch my kid or hurt my kid in any kind of way. So, you know, I don't think it's a good idea for me to attempt to do normal people things, you know? So for people to be like, well, why don't you have a boyfriend, and why don't you have a husband, or why don't you have children, because you don't know who I am, okay? Why don't you stop telling people what to do? How about that? Like, sometimes, like, a person isn't meant to follow the path of every other numbskull in society that just goes along with certain ideas because they think that that's what they're supposed to do, you know? I mean, that would be cool to have kids if, you know, there was a man involved that would be a loving, devoted father, and he, you know, would actually provide for them. You know, that would be cool. But I have not met a single man that's not, like, obsessed with video games and their online presence. So they act just like all the women that they complain about on social media. So it's like when you have men acting just like women, you're kind of shit out of luck.